One to Tuesday's special edition of Sports. That me, I have me a very special guest. He- and he- Folks, let me tell you something about Ronnie. Ronnie is probably we got basketball players ever, ever. Put this on. I'm gonna run down a little bit of something about Ronnie. Chicago, was played at in Chicago during 1994 season. Fields had a reported 50-inch vertical leap. I told y'all, ESPN High School got him as the best freshman in the country for the 1992-93 season. He was time American selection 1994 to 96. He was also the first sophomore to ever play in the best of the best game at the night American camp in 1990. Iverson and Kevin Garnett. And played when his Mercer and Derek Ford. Drafted in 1995, Fields in the senior year led his squad to an 11-1 record. 34 games. Was again, he became a consensus first-team All-American for made USA to McDonald's. A few on February 26, 1996, 1 week before the city was off. Undergoing surgery, he left high school as the third all-time leading scorer in the Chicago Public. Cases with profile Kevin Garnett and Michael Wright. After being recruited by Joe Meyer, Fields signed a letter of intent at Paul University, which, by the way, I have on, as you can see. Later, academic ineligible, denied him. A few months later, back to the NBA, or well, trying to get back to the NBA was a difficult one to say the least. But I am privileged and honored to have Ronnie come on my show. He's if not, we can always reschedule. I really want him to come. Him go back. I you know, tell me to so that was incredible. Field, which experiencing some difficulties, but you know, things that happen like that when you're doing a podcast. So, you know, it's happened to me before and it probably will happen again. Mr. Fields, you know, he's been a favorite of mine when I saw him at the Boston Garden. And if my memory is pretty good, I got dementia sometimes. I recall that they during the dunk contest, which I believe Pat Ewing was there as well. They had like a semicircle. This is my memory. Maybe but this is how far I go back. And I remember that Ronnie was not participating in the dunk contest, but people were, you know, yelling, screaming from the. The boat issue, so like locusts, you know. It comes down to a point where I guess I am a But anyway, I recall, going way back to when this, uh, it was something to get so many great players come through. Paul Pierce, I can name names, go on and on and on. Doc Rivers, Mike Aguirre, we can go on and on and on. But I have an affinity for a lot of Chicago players, Marcus Liberty, and of course my guy, who I take a lot of heat for, Isaiah Thomas, who is my favorite point guard of all time. I'm sure I'm going to get heat for that, but he is, I believe, the greatest prototypical point guard. We know Magic. We all know that Magic really was a point forward. But anyway, getting back to the lecture at hand. Again, Ronnie Fields was an incredible ball player, and I had posted some of his highlights, which are absolutely incredible. And he also played alongside a guy by the name, I think you guys may be familiar with him. He goes by the name of Kevin Garnett, and he was obviously what a great career he ended up having. NBA champion and a great distinguished career. I really am hoping that he could come on. I know for a fact that he is a coach right now. He's coaching, and I know he has to go to practice. So he only had about 30 minutes with us today anyway. So I hope he comes on. If not, don't worry about it. We will definitely get him on in the near future if he does not, if he's not able to come on today. But we all know about technical difficulties because I've had my share, and But while I'm here, I guess I can talk a little bit. Obviously it looks like he might not be able to come on today, but we would definitely try to get him on when it's convenient for him. And I feel that I was, about to give him his roses because he definitely deserves it. And I was excited and looking forward to having him come on the show. But things happen, and you gotta go with the flow. All I know is anybody who's probably over 25 or over must know about him. I mean, his high school career was absolutely unbelievable. And I've been trying to get him on my show for a while. You know what I mean? And now that I got the opportunity, unfortunately, technical difficulties happen, and they usually do. But we try to make it to a minimum. But again, we will get him on. For those of you who did take the time to tune in, I guess I will apologize, but he will be on. We just got to find out the best time and his availability because he's a busy man. And I was looking forward to it. I was pumped up. I'm gonna keep it real. I was pumped up. I was ready to go. But when you deal with the podcast, things of this nature happen. You just got to go with the flow. But what I can do and what I will do right now, we'll probably keep it short. I'll probably stay on only about another 20 minutes because, I was expecting and I had prepared to have him on my show, but, you got to go with the flow. But I can tell you about the upcoming guests that we're going to be having. This Friday, we're going to have a very special guest, and she goes by happen. He's trying to get on. I don't think it's going to happen. We're going to probably have to reschedule. So I'll stay on for about another 20 minutes. Keeping it real, talking a little smack like I always do. But on this Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, I have a very special guest, and she goes by the name of Ash Orndorff. Ash is from Idaho, and she happens to be another one of the best players to ever play high school basketball, women's high school basketball. She was unbelievable. She had an unbelievable career. And, I had her on my show previously, and she got, I think, second on close to number one views on my show because she had a great story to tell, very interesting and very informative. And I'm sure her appearance touched a lot of hearts. I don't want to go into detail with that, because I want her to tell her story again on Friday, and also how she's paying it forward. And she is a great artist, and she does like kind of characters, and she does some very phenomenal things right now. She's paying it forward, and I wanted to come back because I just wanted to have the viewers there because I'm sure they wanted an update on her career and what she's doing now, and I'm honored to have her come on as well. And it's a joy doing the show. I really enjoy doing it. It can be difficult sometimes, when you have technical difficulties like this. But we gotta bear with it and do the damn thing as we do. But I do have again some very special guests. I got Ash Orndorff coming this Friday 5 p.m. Y'all gotta tune in for that because she is something special, and after what she's been through, I think it's phenomenal. And I want to give her flowers as well. We're going to take off Thanksgiving Friday because we want people to be with their families and enjoy the festive holidays. So we're gonna chill out. But the very first week in December 6th, Friday, December 6th, I have with me my man's going to be on. He goes by the name of Rudolph. And he's from the New Bedford area. His name is Kevin Rudolph, but he has his own nickname. But he's a very knowledgeable individual. And we're going to kick it. We're going to talk about his great high school career, playing football for New Bedford High School. We're also going to engage in some NBA, WNBA, the landscape, and we're going to be bantering back and forth. So, like I said, buckle up because it's going to be one of them. He keeps it 100, and we're going to have a great time with Mr. Rudolph. But I'm looking forward to that as well. And then right after him, back to back, I told you we're going to stick to the Chicago theme. We got my man OG, John Reeves. John is a really good friend of mine. We've been touching base for a couple of years now, and it was all due to Mr. Bobby Reed, who paired us together because he felt that, we could click, and we sure have clicked. Robbie, I was basically hawking, whatever you want to call it, to come on Robbie, his show, which was All Ball Chicago. And I kept bantering. I kept trying to get on the show. And I guess, he finds someone like, I think I can get you on. I got someone who you can relate to because I claim that I am a basketball historian, which I really did claim that title. But when I had the opportunity to have the great Sam Jones on my show, that got put to a halt because Sam Jones, everybody talks about Bill Russell and his 11 championships. Sam had 10. And he was, man, the show I did with him was very inspirational to me. And he let the viewers know exactly what transpired being a Boston Celtic during that era and that time and things that they had to go through. And it was very, very touching. And what made me feel so good is they had told me, they said, Mike, this was on another network, by the way. This wasn't on this network, but they had told me, they said, Mike, he can come on, but he might only be able to give you like 15 minutes. I'll take 15 seconds. I don't care. And anyway, unbeknownst to me, I had gotten a phone number from his son who was handling his affairs. And I had taken some numbers down. I had like 4 or 5 different numbers. And I gave my producer, who at that time was out of New York, Long Island. And I think his name was Blackjack. That was his name, Blackjack. And, I had my good friend Ed Amos, who's from Maryland. And we were kicking it because he's OG as well. And I wanted him to be able to, have some conversation with the great Sam Jones as well. So we were kicking it. And then obviously I gave my producer the wrong number. So he's Mike, this is the wrong number. You gave me the wrong number. I'm like, how am I going to give him the wrong number? So I had to have my boy Ed take over the show. I got on my table. I found the right number. I gave it back to my producer, Mr. Blackjack. And Ed and I continued the show. And then he said, oh, he's here. I'm like, what? He's here. Sam came on. And like I told you, they told me I only had like 10 or 15 minutes. If my memory serves me right, I think we did about an hour and 20 minutes. And the stories he told, I can talk about that another time. And I still have the video. which I cherish, believe me. And now I remember the date because it was June 10th. I remember. And I remember the next day I had gone out and did some errands, and I came back and the phone rang. I said, got on the phone, I said, hello. And he goes, Mike, how you doing? I'm like, who's this? He said, this is Sam Jones. I want to thank you for inviting me on your show. I had a great time, brought back some old memories, and I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity. I said, what? Giving you the opportunity? I said, you blessed me by coming on my show. And it's something I'll never forget. And, you know, that historian, that's out the door. That's out the window. Anybody can read stats or read a book. When you talk to someone who actually experienced what he experienced, it's better than any book or any stat you could read. And I had the pleasure of having him on my show. And unfortunately, he passed away 3 months to the day after he did my show. I was the last interview he did while he was alive. And it still is emotional for me to be able to talk to someone who lived the life that he lived and experienced the things that he experienced that a lot of people don't have the opportunity. And for him to give me that opportunity, I have to really thank him for that from the bottom of my heart. And I hope he's resting in God's glory because he definitely deserves it. I get on a better note before I get too emotional on that. Again, we're going to talk about some upcoming shows. My co-hosts or co-guys, women, Key Williams, Cool McCain, and Coach Dante, we're going to be doing a NBA, strictly NBA show. And then that's going to be pretty good. We're going to have a good time with that. Them guys are off the hook. They're very knowledgeable and looking forward to doing that show as well. That's going to be an all NBA show. And with Cool McCain, who's out of North Carolina, and Coach Dante's out of Texas, I think Houston, Texas to be exact. And my producer Key Williams will be chiming in, giving her version. And she's out near Philly, so she's gonna come in. So we got kind of everything out. We got all the bases covered, and we get into detail about the NBA. And looking forward to doing that show as well. We did it last year. It was well received, and looking forward to doing it again as well. And I know right now, my producer Key Williams is not very thrilled right now with her 76ers, and we want. I don't want to get her upset with me because she is my producer, but we wanted to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers, the landscape, how well the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing. They're playing out their minds. I mean, we have a lot of good things in the NBA. We have some things which I'm not too thrilled about. You know, the lack of guys taking back-to-backs off, and I had stipulated right before the season began how I said there's going to be way more injuries this year than ever in the NBA. And look at the result. Look at how many injuries have already occurred. And I think I know the reason why. I think because they shortened the practice time, the scrimmage time. So a lot of players tried to get in shape during the season as opposed to getting in shape prior to the season. I think that would have minimized a lot of the injuries that occurred and that are occurring right now as well. But some of the topics I guess I'll talk about, I've got about 11 minutes. Well, I'm going to do the damn thing. And we will get back to Ronnie, and we will have him on the show. And again, I apologize for that. But sometimes things happen, and we just got to go on. I was looking forward to it. But don't worry. He might be coming on tomorrow. If not, maybe Thursday. Or he'll be coming on because I definitely want him on the show. I don't want to talk too much about him because I want to let him tell his story. You know what I mean? And, you know, I was looking forward to it. But we can go back to the you know, it's crazy. The Cavaliers are 15-0. You know what I mean? They're being all takers, and you know, sometimes they're stopping. I think Mitchell missed the other day, and they still won. So I mean, they have a deep bench, and you know, their players are signed for a couple of years, so they're going to be a team to be dealt with for a long time. I think another thing about the NBA, I'm trying to pick up some topics that are going through my mind. Philadelphia, I think what they're 2-11 or 2-9, whatever. Very disappointing. There was some talk about Embiid not showing up on time for any of the events, or you know, one of the players was stipulated that he didn't show up all day right until before the warm-up. So I don't know what's going on with Philly, but Daryl Morey better do something real quick because it looks like it's going to go downhill. And I think Paul George thought he was going to go into a better situation, but apparently thus far it's not happening too well. And, again, I'm not really a stats guy per se because I'm more of an eye test guy. But I mean, Paul George is having about 16 points per game, and right now, which is not bad, but that's not what they anticipated and what they hope for. And B, I don't know what's going on with him. I think he's a little bit depressed. He's upset. He had mentioned the fact that he doesn't understand what the offense is about, what they're doing with the offense. So I don't know how that's going. Milwaukee Bucks, although they had a win yesterday on Dame Lillard last shot to win the game, they're again disappointing. And I think like any sport, teams have surges and they have pitfalls. You can't expect everybody to be good every single year. There's going to be some pitfalls. Whether it be through age, through injuries, illnesses, etc. So you never know what's going to actually happen, and it's NBA's tough, man. It's an 82 game schedule. The back to back is I don't like it. I personally don't like the back to back, the traveling, the back to back, and especially if you got to go back to back, and then you got to go play at someone else's home. Home, I think that's a lot to ask for. And I'm sure the gamblers are happy about that because usually the team that's going back to back usually doesn't win. So that can be play a part as well. What I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to look at the NBA landscape right now. This is why I have a few minutes to go on right now because again I was preparing to have my man come on, but we will get him on. Definitely get him on, and we hopefully. Because he has a lot to say as well. So let's see what we got here. Hopefully we got something here. Let's see. I'm looking forward to this one. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, man, let's look at this. In the Eastern Conference, we got about 8 minutes to go. And again, I don't want to bore you guys any further. Again, I was looking forward to having Ronnie come on. And hopefully we can make this happen. And I'm just going to hope for the best and hopefully he can come on because I want the viewers to get an idea how special this guy really was. But getting back to the Eastern Conference, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers 15-0. And they're playing against the Boston Celtics tonight at the Boston Garden, TD Garden, and that's going to be a great, great game. The Celtics right now, I think Pritchard has an injury. He's questionable with I think a wrist injury. I'm not so sure about him. What surprised me was Orlando Magic. They lost their Rookie of the Year. He's been out for a while, and they still managed to maintain. They have a 9-6 record, so they're doing pretty good. The Knicks, Carl Anthony Towns, some people, criticize his play, but I tell you what, he's come to the party. He's playing very, very well. The Knicks are 8-6. I mean, they're playing pretty well. I'm surprised with them. The Atlanta Hawks is real shaky because besides Ice Tray, but they really don't have any known names, and they're hanging tough at 7-8. Miami Heat, I think the situation with Butler. When he comes to play, he can play, but a lot of times he's been taking a lot of games off, and he got a little rift with Pat Riley, and I think we'll see him play a lot more games because he can be an effective player. And like last night, he got 30 points and 10 rebounds or something like that. 17 for 17 from the foul line. He did the damn thing. So that's pretty good. I'm surprised about the Pistons. The Pistons are playing pretty well. Cade Cunningham is playing out of his mind. I'm very impressed with him and what he's doing. The Indiana Pacers, I think people expect them to be doing better than what they have so far. But I think things are kicking in. Halliburton's going to start playing better. It's a long season, so you don't want to get too high or too low right now. You want to keep everything maintained. Then we have the Bulls. Woo! The Bulls. I feel bad for Ball. I mean, he had a devastating injury, and to come back from that, and 2 years out of the game, and come back and be effective, and then get injured again. I just feel bad for him because he really wanted to play. In order to come back from injury like that, you gotta love the game. You gotta love to go through all the pain and suffering that he went through in order to be able to participate in this year's season. And let's hope the best for him. Charlotte Hornets. I don't know. That's a tough team. It don't seem like it's going to get any better. They're in a rough spell right now. Hopefully they can maybe get a couple more draft picks and maybe they can do something within the trade deadline to make them a little bit better. You know, it's like now we go to the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, they obviously they gave away a lot, but they got a few picks and they play hard every game. And I'm gonna tell y'all a name that people don't talk about is Cam Thomas. That boy can play. He's a bucket waiting to happen. I mean, he can hit you with the perimeter. He can go baseline. He can do whatever the damn thing he wants. To me, he's a tremendous ball player. And the Nets, now Milwaukee Bucks 5-9. They're in disarray. You know, defensively, they're like one of the worst teams in the NBA. And you know, they made some trades that could be questionable. But again, it's a long season. You know, it's funny. You got Giannis upset. You got Embiid upset. And they're making almost $70 million a year. But, you know, people, I don't get it. But anyway, yeah, Milwaukee Bucks are very disappointing. Toronto Raptors 3-12. Kind of expected that. Although they do have their style five is not that bad. I think they should be playing better. They're 12 games back. So, and then of course we got the Wizards. You know, a lot of great teams. It starts from the top, and when you have teams that have disarray at the top, it infiltrates the lower level, meaning the coaches and the players. And you know, right now they're just playing for that check, apparently, and it's unfortunate because you know, when's the last time that they were relevant? It's been a long time. It's been a long stretch. And the fans of them, you got to give them a lot of credit for sticking by their side. And then, of course, we got, I got a cough on this one. The Philadelphia 76ers, 2-11. Don't know what's going on. Maxey, of course, being injured has made it a little bit more difficult. But that's when they need Embiid to really step up to show what he's about. Right? Not pout and not showing up on time. This is when you should even be more on time. This is when you should become a real leader, because that's what they need right now. They need Paul George to step up until Maxey gets back. And when he gets back, continue to get better and to show pride and leadership.
I tell you what's wrong.
Now we got the boss coming on. You know she was going to chime in. All right, boss. What you got to say, boss?
I'll tell you what's wrong.
Go ahead.
We don't have a bench to.
That's true.
We don't have a bench to take over when Joel's not here or Maxey. McCain starting to prove me wrong because I wanted Dalton Connect, but McCain's been playing very, very well.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I don't know what's Daryl Morey gonna do, but we don't need these. But we don't need these old farts on the team. Why you bring back Kyle Lowry? Why we got Eric Gordon? They're not doing anything.
I agree.
But it's about time that somebody held Joel accountable.
Absolutely. You know,
that proves Maxey wants to be a leader here. Yeah, he got his money because he deserved it.
Right.
And yes, honestly, I can't defend Joel no more. I can't.
Nobody can.
I can't defend him no more. Maxey wants to be a 76er. I think he'll be an MVP in this league one day. He reminds me of AI so much, just the heart. He don't care what's in front of him. He's gonna go attack the basket. He's gonna get the shot. He don't care who in front of him. He's going right at him. So he reminds me of AI a lot. But I can't defend Joel no more.
You know, I agree with you. And Key, here's another. Their salary cap. There's not much they can do. They're stuck.
Because we just signed them 193 mil.
Right. So, I mean, you know, and you got a player who obviously doesn't really want to be there. It seems like. Anyway, I
don't know if Joel don't want to be here. I don't know if it's something mental that's going on. But you know, they got psychiatrists for that. He can speak to somebody. I don't know if he's more injured than what the team is telling us. Like, I don't know.
Now
Because
it's still early.
clearly, last night he was doubtful, but he wanted to go. He should have just stayed off the court.
Uh, 11 points. Come on. And he
There's
was like,
never not there's never not a game where Joel never goes to the line.
right. That tells you something right there. So either he's trying to send a message or I don't know. But it don't look good. It don't look good for the locker room. It don't look good for a lot of things. And when Maxi does come back, I don't know how it's going to affect because he already put out MB. So how that's going to work, I
I
don't know.
think you should put McCain in the lineup with Maxi and Paul George. I know you asking a lot for a rookie right now, but it seems like them three will get you some points. Caleb Martin possibly could come out, can start Oubre. You still got Drummond. And until then, maybe sit Joel out for the season. I don't know, but this
Ooh.
season's a wash. Unless he wants to come back and play like Joel Embiid does, then maybe we could push for a play in. But right now, we don't got no identity.
Not at all. And, you know, now let me ask you a question. How do you think the coach is dealing with this issue? Because you know who's going to go before it'll be the coach that goes. You know that. So,
I mean, you can't blame everything on Nick Nurse, but at the same time, he has to make adjustments to where he know we don't have Joel. Like there's plenty. Last night we had a 19-point lead. You mean to tell me we couldn't close that out?
should be able to. No doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. But I don't know about your Philly. I don't know, Key. I don't know. I think Paul George is like, he's probably questioning himself. He left one Zoom.
I don't think Paul George is questioning himself. We already know what Paul George can do. We already know his injury history and things like that. I don't think he's questioning himself being here. If I know he wanted to play with Joel, but he's in a better opportunity situation. So I mean, I don't think he's regretting it.
Well, so far, 2-11. I mean, that ain't too good, Key. Not too good at all. But anyway, I'm glad you came on and chimed in because I know you would once I brought up your Philadelphia 76ers. But I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna have to look and wait and see how that turns out. But getting back again, thank you for coming on, boss. I appreciate it. You're welcome anytime. You know that. That's my boss, Key Williams. Without her, believe me, I would have no show at all. So I owe everything and a debt of gratitude for her to come on, especially on Tuesday, because my show is usually on Fridays at 5. But every time I hit up Key, she's like, okay, we can do this. We can do it. We can do it. I'm like, well, I got to thank her from the bottom of my heart because without her, I couldn't do a damn thing. Now let's go into I got a few more minutes. Hey, I might as well hang out a little bit. I'm enjoying myself right now. Let's talk about the Western Conference. Oklahoma City Thunder, 11-3. I predicted that they would be in the finals, and so far, my prediction, prognostication has come to reality right now, but it's still early. But I like the way Oklahoma City's playing. They're playing with a very small team. Their tallest player right now on the starting team is 6'6". And, they lost a very talented player in Hogan who was playing out of his mind. And they're still winning. They're 11-3. They're still winning. And when he comes back, I think if they can keep afloat, they're going to be something to deal with. And my boy SGA is out of this. He's ridiculous. He's absolutely ridiculous. He's playing unbelievable, and he's going to keep them afloat. Golden State, I guarantee that people thought when Clay left to go play with Dallas that Golden State was going to be like folding. They're going to be, bottom of the barrel, and it might, not bode well for Steph in his career, the rest of his career. But things have changed. They're playing very, very well. They're 10-3. They are tough to deal with. They play they beat the Celtics in Boston. Who does that? And I think they're going to be a team to be dealt with. They keep try to keep injury free. Steph's always kind of getting tic-tac injuries. But Draymond Green, people got to watch out for him. Even though we all know how he is. He makes that team run. Defensively, He's the captain. He's like the linebacker. Offensively, he's like he distributes. He runs the team. He knows every player and what they're supposed to be, where they like the ball. And then he's one of the best defensive ball players. Thinks he should be defensive ball player of the year this year, but we'll see what happens. But he's been playing well. I'm very impressed with the Warriors. Now, here we go. The LA Lakers. All right. I'm sure a lot of people had them not even probably making the playoffs or whatever because, the man himself who's like 88 years old now, LeBron, but he's playing really well. I think he's having like 25 points a game, like 8 rebounds and 7 assists, something like that. I'm not a stats guy. I go by the eye test. But he's playing well. And AD is, I think at one point he was leading the league in scoring. And then they got that guy Connect. You could tell when he was at Tennessee how he would pull up on jump shots, and he's fearless. And he goes to the cup strong, and he's going to be. And then you got Reeves. I like the team that they have. Russell coming off the bench, I think is very effective. I think he's bought into it, and I think that's going to propel them into playing real well. And I think if they can stay injury-free, I think they're going to be a team to be dealt with. And I don't know how much longer LeBron has, but they're playing very well, and I'm very impressed with them. I'll be watching them tonight. Well, I don't think I can watch them tonight, but I'll be tuning in as much as I can on the Lakers because after all, they kind of are my team. Although I really don't have per se a NBA team, but I like the Lakers. I like them, and everybody knows who I do not like. But we'll talk about that another time. Getting back, the Houston Rockets. My man, Coach Dante, said, watch out for these guys. Watch out. And sure enough, they're young, they're hungry, and they're playing like they got nothing to lose. They go out there, they get along with each other. They're quick, they're fast, they're athletic, they can jump, they can shoot, they have no fear, and they come to play every night. And Houston Rockets is a fun team to watch. I wish I could watch them back here in the East. You can't see a lot of games unless you stay up late at night or you get NBA pass, league pass, which I don't have. But the Houston Rockets are playing pretty well. The Suns were off to a good start. Then KD got hurt, but Booker's acting up, and I think Phoenix Suns are a team to be dealt with as well. Once they get everything situated, I think they're going to play a lot better. But they started off real good. Now, I know my man Kuma Kane is going to be a little upset with me, but the Denver Nuggets, man, I don't know what happened to them. Although the last 10 games are 7-3, they only have a losing streak of 2 games. So, they're 6th in the Western Conference. It's still early yet. You never know what's going to happen. Once they get healthy as well. Jokic is having MVP year again, and Murray, injuries play a big factor. And Denver, I think it's going to be. They'll be there. We all know they're going to be there. The Memphis Grizzlies, I think that team goes when Ja goes. When Ja goes, they just don't play well. And then you got some players, like he had talked about Philly, some old players, man, they just can't sustain the course of a regular season because of all the injuries. I think they have had a rough time and going at it. A team who I think is going to get better is the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, they got Randall, who's playing real well. I'm very impressed with Randall. Anthony Edwards is shooting really bad percentage-wise, but I think he's going to pick it up. And I think he's putting a little bit too much pressure on himself right now to produce, and he's taking a whole lot of three-pointers and is not making them. But I think that in time, he and the Wolves will get their act together. I see them, obviously making the playoffs. Clippers up and down. Harden's up and down. Harden's playing pretty well. But again, they've had a stretch where, they lost Paul George. Kawhi, I don't know where he might be in Hawaii. I don't know where he's at. I just don't understand. I mean, he's been injured since last year's playoffs. And then he had the whole year to recuperate. And then he went to the Olympic team. They booted him out because he wasn't healthy. Then he came back and they held him back from practice. It might be time for him to kick it. But you see, the thing is, folks, he just signed an extension, big money, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's up in that 55, 60 million a year range. So I don't think he's going anywhere. So they're kind of stuck with him. It's unfortunate because when he plays, like before he got injured last year, he was MVP caliber. He was playing out of his mind. He has a tremendous athletic ability. He can hit the mid range, and he's great defensively. And it's a shame because they put all that money, and when you're owners and you put all that money, you expect something on your return on investment. And right now, they're not getting any return at all. If it is, it's all negative return to say the least. Getting back to them. Even though Sacramento Kings are 8-7, De'Aaron Fox, huh? What about him? Woo, my man's acting up. He's playing very well. I mean, we got a 60-pointer, then a 28-pointer, and I mean, he's fun to watch. Again, being out in the West Coast, I don't get to see them play because of the schedule of the way the West Coast is. But the Sacramento Kings, I think people thought they would be better. But again, still, yeah. So, the season's just begun. We got to, all teams got to go through that road trip where they got to go play 5 games in 10 nights or 9 nights. That tells a real true testament of how our team is going to be being faced with that adversity, travel, and all that stuff. Being an NBA ball player is no joke. People think it's easy. It's no. You got to deal with the traveling, all the different hotels and buses trips, and it wears and tears on your body and your mind, to be exact. You don't have much practice time, so you're doing walk-arounds. You got the other team, you got the bench doing the scouting, or the assistant coaches doing the scouting. You're going to go through walkthroughs of what the other teams does, and for the most part, NBA, if you watch, all offenses are the same. They come up, all offenses are the same. It primarily starts with the big man going up top, setting a pick for the guard to go right or left, pick and roll, pick and pop, this, that, and the other. Kick it to the wing, penetrate, kick it to the wing. All the offenses are really easy. I think the players, especially now because they don't have much practice time, you just got to get a feel, and hopefully you have enough bench to pick up the starting 5. And if you have a complete bench, you're going to be all right. You're going to be able to hang into a lot of these games, especially the back-to-back games. That's where the bench becomes real crucial because the stars are hurt or they're tired and they don't want to play back-to-back. But you got those guys who are coming off the bench who are hungry, who want to get more playing time, and it's a perfect opportunity to improve your bench for the upcoming playoffs or the rest of the season. I think that's very important. Dallas Mavericks. They are an intriguing team. Kyrie's playing very well. Luka is shooting terrible from the floor. Again, too many turnovers. He's phenomenal, but he has to have the ball damn near 24/7. I think that takes away from the team because the play, if you watch, they just stay around watching him. And if he decides to penetrate or if he decides to pass, I don't see them having any continuity. I don't think they have any plays. I don't see them having plays. It's Kyrie coming up, Luka coming up, and then whatever. Pop, pick, pop, again, pick, pop. The game's really not that hard. The key to me is spacing. When you have spacing, proper spacing, everything opens up. The floor opens up, the lanes open up, the ability to penetrate and dish, but you got to have good perimeter shooters. If you got good perimeter shooters, I think you're going to remain in the game, and then obviously a bench. But the game is really basic. It's really simple, believe it or not. But you got to have the talent, and you got to have the desire to play defense and rebound, because a lot of teams who are great offensive rebounders, you watch, those are kind of like the winning teams because of effort. Defense, all it takes is effort. I mean, you could have a bad shooting night, but folks, you can still go out there and bust your behind, even if you're shooting bad. I'll give you an example. Ice trade last night. I think he had single digits in scoring, but he had 19 assists. So he did something, even though he was shooting terrible, had a miserable game, he still brought his team to victory. 19 assists, most assists in the game this year thus far. So when you're having a bad shooting day, doesn't mean you can't do other things to propel your team to victory. So a lot of players, if they're shooting bad, they don't want to give that extra effort. But effort don't cost money. Just play with your heart. Give it 100%. But a lot of players, because they make so much money, that they really don't place a priority on playing hard every night. And it is a long season. 82 games is a long season. And okay, now San Antonio Spurs, a young team. Hopefully, Coach Pop comes back real soon. He had a minor stroke, and I think he'll be back. But I think it's a good opportunity for them, because they're going to be a team, I think, in the near future, are going to get better and better and better. And if they end up in the bottom of the barrel, they get one of the top 10 picks. Although I really don't know how many great players there are in the NCAA. Back in the day, I remember there are so many players you knew who was going to come out. I don't know who the number one player in the country is right now. I don't think you all either. I don't know. There's no one that stands out. We got the women's college game. We all know who's the best 5 players in that season. The teams, we got the girl Becker's from UConn. We got my girl from USC. We got a couple of. We all know who's going to be there. But on the men's collegiate, I don't know who. I don't know too many goddamn people who are playing. I can't name one starting team. I can't. I'm sure Key can do Villanova, stuff like that. But out here we got Providence College. I don't really know all their players, to be honest with you. They got one player who was hurt, who's coming back. But I don't really know too much of these players, so I don't know how the draft's going to be. So I think if that's the case, if my thought process is that there's not going to be that much coming out this year, then teams got to do a couple of things. They got to either go by the draft or free agency. those are trades, but for the most part, I think free agency is probably the way to go. I don't know. To me, I don't see anything in the NCAA game, but it's early yet. I think the guy, what's his name? I know his name. He's from Kansas. He was at Michigan. He's one of the big guys who's playing well this year. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he plays for Kansas. He played quite a few. I think he's been playing like 18 years. I think he's on an 18-year plan, because he was at Michigan. I remember seeing him back in the day. Now I see him with Kansas, with this NIL and the portal and all that. I don't know. My philosophy about that, the coaches have done it for so many years. Why can't the players? And I do think the players should be compensated as well, because it's about time. And a lot of players have gone through hell to make it so the players nowadays are going to be compensated, whereas the players from back in the day never got compensated. Well, legally anyway. We know under the table things might have happened and might have transpired. I got about 10 minutes. I've done spoke to the smack already, but we got a couple more teams. The Portland Trail Blazers. They got Simons. He's a tough guard. He's a tough guy. They're fun to watch too. They're young. You got some of these up and coming teams. They're young. Just give them a couple years. I'm telling you, I think the great teams of the past. Well, the Lakers are going to be okay. The Celtics, because they're already locked in for the next 4 or 5 years. I think they're going to be a team to deal with for the next 4 or 5 years. I think they got everybody under contract. I think they're going to be very effective for years to come. They got Pritchard. They got a great bench. They got a deep bench. The salary cap is cool with them. They're good, even though they paid Brown and they paid Tatum all that money. They're going to be good for years to come. They get along. They got a good coach who got a lot of heat, even though I don't like that team. Matter of fact, I shouldn't even be saying that name. But anyway, I think they're going to be good for years to come. And New Orleans Pelicans, well, it's tough when you're 270, 275 pounds with a 40-inch vertical or more. And, all that pressure on your legs and your hips and your arms and this, it's going to be a burden. It's going to be a tough way to go for the Pelicans, because Zion's he's just going to be an injury waiting to happen. It does. I'm not a doctor or a physicist or whatever, but his body is not meant to play basketball like that. His game is strength and athletic ability. His game is strong power, leap out the gym. but it's too much pressure on his legs, and you could just tell. I mean, he was playing very well. I think he was having close to 23 points a game before he got injured. And he's a factor. Bevan Ingram, a great player, but they need more help. One of the point guards, I forgot his name, the little guy, a little shorty. He's been out. I think he's going to be out for 4 weeks. Again, injuries. As I stated before, injuries are a big factor in any season, any sport. But the way that they're happening so quickly in the NBA right now, it's going to be an issue. You heard it from me. So all these teams that we think are going to be there at the end, they may not be there because of injuries. And that plays, of course, a very important part. And then, of course, we know what the Utah Jazz are doing. We already know they want Cooper Flag. Well, he might be the best player coming out of college, if I'm correct. I know he's the #1 rated coming out of high school, and he's going to be one and done. And I think he's going to probably Utah. Looks like Utah is going to definitely get that pick between them or New Orleans, unless there's some stipulation which I don't know about. But yeah, they're playing for that. They want Cooper Flag because he's going to be a draw, and he's going to be able to bring them some stability, and he's going to be a player that's going to be with them for like 10, 12 years. I don't see him, once he does get drafted by them, if in fact they do draft him going anywhere. I think he's going to be a draw for the Utah. So Danny Ainge right now, I think he's just chilling because he's going to make that move. I guarantee you Cooper Flag will be playing for Utah next year, and he will contribute greatly. And that's my take on the NBA. It's going to be a great game tonight. The Celtics play against the Cavaliers, and we're looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to my upcoming shows as well. As I stated before, we're going to try to get Ronnie Fields to come back on. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to try to contact. Well, he's coaching right now. He's coaching his son's team. So I want folks to know that, he really was scheduled. He really was supposed to come on. That I hope it was really Ronnie Fields, but we will find out. Sometimes you never know, but I think that it was him, and I think that he will be able to come on. We're going to try to maybe I have to find out what his availability is, and I have to find out through my producer Cubans if we can make it happen, because he was an exceptional ball player, guys. I mean, one of the best ball players, not of that era, of all time. And I put out a video of all his talents, and he was just phenomenal. He kind of reminds me in a different way of a Len Bias. Can you imagine how good Len Bias would have been in the NBA, playing for the Celtics alongside Reggie Williams? Things of that nature. Now, with Ronnie Fields, if he didn't get injured or didn't get hurt, and he could perform academically, I think he would have been an outstanding collegiate player. You see all his credentials. You see what he's done. Everybody knows who he is and what he's done. But excuse me, I wanted to get his view on his take on his career and things of that nature. And hopefully he'll come on maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. I don't know, but we're going to try to work on it so we can definitely have him, because I'm telling you, I was pumped. I was excited. I couldn't wait to talk to Key. I said, look, I struck gold. In order to get someone like that on my show is something pretty damn good. And hopefully he comes on. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I got about 5 minutes left. We are on Roku TV. I don't know if y'all going to watch after today's show, but hopefully you stay tuned. We're going to have a great show Friday. I guarantee you that. And Ash Ondorf will be on, and she's doing some phenomenal things, paying it forward and dealing with the kids now. And I think she's going to be a great guest to have on the show as well. And then, of course, we're going to take Thanksgiving off. And the first week, December 6th, Friday at 5 o'clock, we got my man, Mr. Rudolph. You guys are going to love him. He's very knowledgeable. He's going to do the damn thing. And then after him, I got my guy, OG John Reeves, out of Chicago. And, every time him and I get together, we keep it real. We keep it 100. No Google, no none of that. LinkedIn, we don't know nothing about that. We just know eye test, knowledge, and experience. And that's what we're going to do. That's next December 6th on Friday. And then the following week, I think we're going to have another guy by the name of Damon Hydro, who has his own show. He does a Lakers show, by the way. He has his own show. And I'm going to have some great guests upcoming. Oh, and then we got our NBA show with Key Kuma Kane and Coach Dante and the Conn Man, and that's going to be hell. That's going to be, we're going to get into it, and we're going to have a good time. Those guys, everybody there, is very knowledgeable, and I respect them wholeheartedly. And looking forward to some great shows that we're going to be doing on the air as well. And it's called the Courtside View, by the way. So stay tuned for that. And again, I want to thank you people for coming, tuning in to what was or what should have been the Ronnie Fields tribute. And as soon as we get done here, I'm going to try to contact him and see if we can make something happen so he can definitely come on. So right now, folks, all I can do is tell you I apologize for the technical difficulties. Hopefully, we can make it happen. And stay tuned to my show. I had a great show with Steve Burgo. We got 1,400 views, which is pretty good. You know what I mean? So I thank you guys for tuning in. We must be doing something right. And, we got a lot more to offer you guys. So as I get ready to leave, I just want you guys to know that I thank you guys for tuning into my show. We got some great things happening in the future with the network, not just my show, but we got some great things with the network, and we're going to be doing some things to give you guys a great opportunity to view some very knowledgeable people and some insight into the NBA, and they still got football going on as well. So we got some great people who do their football shows, and so you guys can tune in. Just tune into the Sports Wave Network. You know what I mean? They got a lot of great shows, a lot of great people, a great, I consider them family. So I think, you guys tune in. It don't have to just be my show, but I do appreciate you coming on my show as well. And again, I want to thank you guys for coming on my show. Well, I mean, for tuning into my show. And again, as I said before, I'm going to try to get in touch with Ronnie Fields to see if, in fact, he will be coming on my show. And we got to take it from there. So, folks, I want to thank you guys again, and stay tuned because hopefully we have some good things coming. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday. We shall see. But again, folks, take care. God bless, and thank you for tuning in to the Sports Wave Network and my show, Sports Corner with the Conn Man. Take care. God bless. See you all soon. Peace out. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it was him or not. Might not have been him. Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, uh,
Stay.